with Mamdani's win if his style of communism will actually be more of what Harari describes as kind of a scientific Noah's Ark, where the elite leave humanity behind and there's billions of useless people. And I know you've seen the clips, but he goes on to talk about how everyone just does drugs and computer games and all that. So
you talking about Harari, right?
Yes. And he says that after the useless people comment in Homo Deus. And so I'm wondering if Mamdani's communism will actually be like a Brave New World.
Probably. Oh, absolutely. I think all of the socialists being promoted that are everywhere, basically the Democratic Party is basically just becoming the Democratic Socialists of America Party. So they're becoming full-on socialists openly. Even though Mamdani is not full-on quote Fabian socialist, that doesn't even matter because Fabian socialists will work with any socialist. Let's see if we can find this Yuval Harari quote that our friend here has mentioned. Looks like it's it. Let's see what
Humans are in danger of becoming useless. Just as the 19th century Industrial Revolution created the urban working class, so now we are seeing the creation of the unworking class. People who are not just unemployed, they are unemployable. And this obviously causes a lot of anger and anxiety. In addition, authority is already beginning to shift away from humans, and we are not sure where to. And this too causes a lot of turmoil and a lot of fear among larger and larger segments of the population.
So there's Noah Yuval talking about the useless eaters. This is the older terminology that you would see in people like David Attenborough and all of the, world wildlife, social Darwin, nature worship people.
And here we have the useless eater as he grazes in his natural habitat.
Right. Those are people who are all absolutely Malthusians. And now the Malthusian ideology has been combined with technocratic socialism, aka Fabian socialism. So I think our buddy Agent here is spot on. I would absolutely expect that that's the attitude ultimately that Mamdani has, even if he's not explicit about it. I haven't actually listened to much of Mamdani, or I don't know much about what his actual platform is, because I don't even have to, because socialists it's all the same game. They're basically fronts and agents for the banking technocracy. Agent, do you have anything else?
No, I appreciate that, Jay. It was just so obvious because you're so right. I haven't really looked much at Mamdani myself, but when I saw him with Soros, I knew that stakeholder capitalism and the, Homo Deus useless class was in full effect. So
no, but see, he's based in trad, and he's actually fighting the Zionists, you see. So he's based in trad.
And he has that Fabian socialist wolf with the sheepskin, because when I see him, he's not like this strong looking figure like Stalin was, right? He's like smiling and looking pretty Skittles. So he's definitely
he's got the Skittles vibe. Like go ahead, John.
I said he is Skittles.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is he really gay?
Yeah, he's openly gay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're gonna be ruled by a bunch of technocratic, socialist, openly gay Jewish men. That's your future right there.
Wait, you're saying Mamdani is actually of Jewish origin, but he claims to be Muslim? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about Harari.
No, I'm sorry. No, you're right about Harari. No, we're talking about Mamdani now, who is... so they were arguing... It's okay. People have been arguing, oh, look, see, this is actually a defeat against the Zionists because Mamdani is Muslim. Dude, he's a freaking technocratic socialist. This is... And Keir Starmer, by the way, who is another open Fabian socialist, are you noticing what we've been talking about for so long is the revival of socialism and Marxism is coming because the British Ministry of Defense 18 years ago put out a paper in The Guardian saying that Marxism would make a return. Remember this? The British, I'll pull it up for you guys. It's in The Guardian right here. Revolution, flash mobs, and brain chips. 20 years ago, Guardian article. I've been talking about this article for 15 years because Alex covered it when it first popped up. And the British Ministry of Defense wrote about, oh, guess what's coming? Not just all the technocratic stuff, but the return of Marxism. Marxism will come back. And now what do we have? We have Fabian Socialist Keir Starmer as the MP, or excuse me, as the Prime Minister, PM. We have Mamdani elected as the new Muslim mayor of New York. Now, the same stuff was exactly what the Fabian Society did in the UK. And they wrote about it 100 years ago, that they would Islamicize the UK, then they would Islamicize the EU, and then they would do the same pattern eventually in the West, although it would take a lot longer because it's more challenging to get Islam into the US, into America. Now, all of the low-tier tradcat people who think that there's an alliance between them and Muslims, there's a right-wing alliance. Remember, this was being pushed a couple years ago. Oh, Sneeko, he's going to be our anti-Zionist bro. This is all fake and gay. It's all ridiculous. They're both bad news. Islam is just as Talmudic as Judaism is. It comes from the same Talmudic origins. The modern scholarship admits that Islamic origins are Talmudic. All of these stories that Muhammad has, throughout the hadiths and whatnot, and even in the Quran, many of them are from Gnostic texts. Many of them are from the Talmudic texts. And yeah, some of them are cribbed and mixed up from the Bible. So none of this is good. This is all bad news. They're all bad. You're not winning because of this goober getting elected in New York. This is just so insane to me. I cannot believe that people think, and I've seen it all over Twitter. People are like, yeah, we'll show those Zionists. We'll put a Muslim in who's a socialist. That'll show those Zionists. As if he's not in freaking pictures celebrating with Soros's son and the rabbis. You idiots. Socialism is fake and gay. It is a tool. It is not a real opposition. Socialism, as even Oswald Spengler said, there has never been a socialist movement which was not funded and used as the tool of capital. Go ahead, John.
I was reading something today. This book, it's called The War for Righteousness, and it's talking about progressive Christianity leading up to World War I. And H.G. Wells is all over this book, particularly because there was some opposition to the World War within various Protestant sects. But Wells made it a point to be in opposition to the war in true Fabian socialist manner. Then when the war starts, he said, well, no, it's actually a good war. It's the war to end all wars. And then after the war, they criticized everybody for supporting the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there is a tactic to this where whatever is happening politically or in the world is you take a position and then you modify your position after the conflict or whatever is over, and make it seem like you never were for the thing that you were before or during whatever, political thing was going on. And we see that over and over again, and it works because people, they think they're like, oh, am I crazy, or wasn't that guy the opposite of something, prior to whatever conflict? I could have sworn, and you think your mind's playing tricks on you, but it's an old tactic. It's an old Fabian socialist tactic.
Yes. As is controlled fake conservatism. Now, for those that don't know, of course, we've been recommending for several years now, 4 or 5 years now, the Johann Ratiu book, The Milner-Fabian Conspiracy. If you're interested, I have a lengthy couple talks. This is part 1 right here. If you type in Writings of the Elite, you'll get this one as part 1, 44,000 views. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll get my discussion part 2. It's a 600-700 page book, so it has quite a bit of information. So it took several talks, and we still didn't even get to the later sections in the book, which are actually really important. But this goes into exactly all of the strategy and long-term usage of Islam that those people in the UK, especially amongst the UK elites, planned. So you can check that out there. I don't know if the book is back in print. It always seems to be out of print. So maybe somebody eventually will put this into print, but it's an absolutely essential text. And it's amazing that, you know, I can't get anybody to get, well, I take that back. I think everybody, Gen X, half a Gen X and under can grasp this stuff. Half a Gen X and older, they just cannot get this stuff. I don't know why. They were subjected to some extreme advanced versions of propaganda, and they just cannot get dialectics and how dialectics works. But when you go to college and study philosophy, and I'm saying this as a person who did it, and when you go to grad school and study philosophy, guess what philosophy students are taught? We're taught Marxism and dialectics. Now, that doesn't mean that all colleges only produce Marxists. You can come out of there even as a capitalist and still be, you know, a Straussian neocon dupe. So not everybody does, but the majority who want to feel cool and anti-establishment and leftist come out of college as brainwashed Marxist socialists. As I said a few weeks ago, I recently went back to my university, and we had an awesome library back when I was a research assistant there, and I worked in the library. And I would spend days, you know, just hanging out down there in all of these awesome books that we had down there. Well, it turns out a couple of years ago, Jamie and I went back over there to the library, and we went down to the basement where all the archives and all the texts were, and 70% were now gone. And guess what was all that was left of this vast archive of this treasure trove of excellent books?
Wait, can I guess?
Yes.
It was about how based and trad Muslims are.
No, there was just one section of Marxist socialist text about this big. I mean, these were shelves upon shelves, and 70%, all the church fathers were gone. They had the whole Catholic University CUA Church Fathers Press set. Yeah, they had the Shaft set, but the CUA Press set is even nicer than the Shaft set. They had, I mean, you name it, they had it. We had an awesome library, all gone. So we've gone full dystopia. They've just dumped all the books. They don't care about any of that. It's all pure propaganda now. So when you come out of university, you are fully brainwashed into, and it doesn't even matter what you call it. You can call it liberalism, leftism, socialism, Marxism, communism, Fabianism. It doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, for years, I mean, even when me and you started talking back in the day, I would always go to, and I know you do too, you go to library discards, and that's where I would find all of the elite texts. That's where I found my copy of Tragedy and Hope and The Turning Point, and all those things were all from library discards, because they started getting rid of their books a long time ago. But I went into a library not too long ago, and the only reason to go into a library now is to see if they're going to sell any of their books, because the rest of it is all Skittles and Drag Queen Story Hour.